All right, chat. Let's march on. The big question, Dylan Cease. How's that going to go? Let's find out. Andreas Jimenez goes to the Diamondbacks for 4 years. Again, he was 32. I couldn't give him that type of money. Ethan Salas gets the big boy contract from Kansas City. It went all in on him. That's a massive contract. Probably backloaded, too. Zach Getoff goes to... I was just caught off guard by some of those numbers. Goes to Cleveland for the 6 years. 96 RBI, 31 home runs. Jesus. Alejandro Kirk on his way to Boston. That's weird. I need to check that Salas contract. Oh, yeah, they backloaded it. That's gonna be a really fun contract to pay attention to in the back 3 years. Sheesh. Have fun dealing with that. Let's see. Rocchio is still there. Patino has accepted. I got no competition for Brian. Dylan Cease, does he have any offers in on him? Not yet, Chad. It's looking like he's coming back. Sam Basallo on his way to the Cardinals for Nathaniel Lowe and Tekoa Roby. Damn. I mean, that's a pretty big deal involving that group of players. Harry Ford is gone. 6 years in Arizona. Another big contract for the Diamondbacks. Alex Verdugo, 3 years in Pittsburgh. Dylan Cease still remaining a free agent. That's good news for you guys that he hasn't taken the qualifying offer yet. Still no offers, though. Still no offers. You guys need him to not be on your team next year financially. Brian Rocchio, welcome to the Mermen. Happy to have you here. So I got both of my free agent targets, and from there, we are good to go. We just got to wait and see what happens. What is going to happen? David Bednar gets a 1-year deal in Washington. We allowed to re-sign him cheaply if the price comes down. Yes, I mean, if he's there, he's there. But for now, 5-year deal for Cade Horton in Washington. Cal Raleigh, 3 years in Toronto. So, I mean, the best situation for chat right now, you guys have about $13 million of projected surplus after everybody signed their deals. Your best bet right now, I mean, as it is, Cease wants $25 million. Like, there's no shot. Your best bet now is he goes somewhere else. Granted, it's just qualified status now, but your best bet's like right at the very end of free agency, sign whoever the hell you can. And then spring training signings as well. There's not going to be some big free agent signing this year. Your big free agent signing was Yuri Perez and Gavin Lux. That's where the money went. Rhett Loader, the Louder, on his way to Tampa for 6 years. So we head towards the draft lottery. Garrett Crochet. You can buy a whole lot of yarn with $18 million a year for 6 years. Good Lord. Damn. All because the rest of chat front-loaded the contract. Yeah, those front-loaded deals can be a bitch. Now it's my time to worry. 2 years ago, a generational Japanese starting pitcher disappeared from the drafts. I have been told that they will eventually return. I'm putting the fucking bat signal in the sky. Unless I lose the lottery, in which case I'll be pissed because I've had the first overall pick 2 years in a row. If I miss it this year and that guy shows up, Actually, not 2 years in a row. I won it last year. 2 years ago, it was the Rockies, and I had the second pick. You get the point, though. I'm ready to cry. Top odds. Dude, the Dodgers and Orioles are in the bottom three. Jesus. Shout out to Concord for the follow. I could have sworn you followed yesterday. It's fine. Was it a Colombian? You're right. It was Colombian. You're right. You guys have the 17th best odds. 0.4% for the number one pick. Okay, you know what? Not looking worked out really well last year. So again, I am just going to not look. And I'm going to hope for the best. Please, God. Please. I have a perfect button for this occasion. Fuck! Okay. If the Dodgers end up with that Colombian pitcher, I'm going to jump out a fucking window. Andrew Vaughn, 3-year deal with the Cardinals. Mr. Dominguez, a 6-year deal with the Orioles. Still no word about Dylan Cease. Of course, I'll forgo my pick. If it makes any picks for you guys, we'll have to let him go. Just auto draft from there. We'll see what's up. Jordan Lawler, 5 years in Colorado. Willie Castro, 4 years in Atlanta. Luis Arias, 3 years with the Mets. Patrick Sandoval. St. Louis has spent some money this offseason. Royce Lewis traded to Tampa. Holy shit. That's an interesting deal. That's a cap dump right there. For Mason Montgomery, Christian Franklin, and Eric Lara. That's a cap dump if I've ever seen one. Dylan Cease is off to the Padres. 1-year deal at $27.1 million. So Dylan Cease is off to San Diego, meaning you guys are okay. Now, you only have $13 million, right? You haven't made your free agent signings yet. You're not getting Paul Skeens. Like, at this point, it is still worth, I mean, especially to, well, you guys needed a reliever more than a starter, right? You could go for Ryan Helsley. You need a reliever more than a starter. But even Helsley is a bit expensive because we do have to fill out your roster. Even Helsley is a bit expensive. It's probably worth going for like a Tanner Scott. And then in terms of a catcher, like Herrera's out there, but man, he wants $7 million a year. It's just, I'm telling you right now, because again, I don't give a shit if you guys are going to beat me, because it's very evident that you are. You don't want to spend big money this year. You just don't. You can't afford it. Like one more big contract right now after front loading that Yuri Perez deal, you guys would fuck yourself if you try to get anybody here. You got essentially 3 players making $30 million this year. $25 million for Rafaela. You know, curious how much Shane Baz wants. $16 million a year. A backloaded deal will leave you just enough money to not be able to do anything. So, like, if you guys wanted to go after like a Tanner Scott, you could. I mean, he's a 36-year-old veteran. Or you can just wait. You know? Catcher-wise, like Matt Tice, Sean Murphy, Jake Rutt. Like, how much does Sean Murphy want? Even Sean Murphy's still looking for $5 to $6 million a year. You are best to just wait it out and see what you can do from there. To be honest, what I am willing to do, if you wait until spring training, I'll give you 2 of each signing. Normally we do 1 position player, 1 pitcher. I'll give you 2 and 2 because you waited and saved your signings. And that way you can get some cheaper depth to round out the roster. It does not make sense for you guys to sign anybody right now. It just doesn't. You don't have the money. Dylan Cruz gets 5 years from Texas. Manuel Rodriguez, 4 years from the Angels. Brady House, 6 years with the White Sox. Brian Hayes gets a 1-year deal in Texas, so Texas spending some money this year too. Edmundo Sosa gets a year-long deal from the Padres. Shane Baz, 5 years from the Astros. Oswald Peraza finally off the board, 4 years for him from Washington. Jaron Duran signs with Kansas City for the year. Paul Skeens is still out there. Mason Wynn, 5 years in Cincy. And Paul Skeens on his way to the Angels for the next 6 years. Big money deal for the now former Pirate. So that'll bring us up to spring training. And we'll see what the situation is here. So let's take a look again at your roster. We know you're probably going to want another reliever. Depends on what you want to do with Kerry Gamble. But starters, you're fine. Even without Cease, like that top three, you're fine for starters. Could use a catcher if you want to improve a backup beyond Gary Sanchez or not run Tyrone Ray as a starter. Pedro Perez is going to have to be cut. We just can't do it right now. So you could look for a better backup first baseman behind Adams. Backup second baseman behind Gavin Lux. Excuse me. Maybe a backup third baseman. Jim Flint's going to have to go, so maybe backup shortstop. I mean, it's backups essentially across the board. Let's see who's out there. So you can't go for Kim. In terms of catchers, Will Smith is out there. Could go for someone like Will Smith. He's still looking for like $2 million, but he's really the only half decent catching option. Aside from that, you might as well just leave Gary Sanchez as the backup. First base, Michael Chavis. How much is he looking for? Michael Chavis looking for a dirt cheap deal. Utility player. He'd be a really good signing for you guys to play behind Vladdy instead of Jeff Adams. Second base, you can't get Estrada. So you'd be looking at Owen Miller as another utility player. He's looking for a couple mil, though. Josh Rojas, also looking for a couple mil. Really sums up how good that Chavis deal is. Chad seems to be on board with Chavis. Any disagreements about signing Michael Chavis for dirt cheap as one of your 2 position player signings? $950 is about the... Looks like $940 if he'll take it. And he takes it. So Michael Chavis off to Vancouver. You guys have one more position player signing in free agency. Again, Rojas was expensive. Prieto or Jahmai Jones would be dirt cheap if you wanted them as a backup second baseman. Third base, Jose Ramirez. Veteran switch hitter, wants a couple mil, though. Ryan McMahon wants a couple mil. Bregman wants a couple mil. Matt Chapman also still wants a couple mils, so not great options at third base. And then shortstops. The top 2 are both unavailable to you, so Jose Rodriguez is the best option. He wants a mil. And in outfield, the depth isn't as important here, but Luke Raleigh is out there. The Raleigh is out there. He wants a couple mil. McCormick, couple mil. Yeah, none of these guys are going to be... Mike Trout's out there. He still wants a couple mil, though. Yeah, these outfielders are expensive. And you don't necessarily need the depth in the outfield. I mean, Kiersey you could get for under $1 million. Cespedes you could get for under $1 million. Buxton would still run you over $1 million. And then right to Dolis Garcia, a couple mil. So, from what we were seeing, your best options We're either a backup second baseman like Cesar Prieto, Jahmai Jones. Miller was a couple mil. Or someone like Will Smith, a catcher, but he was also a couple of mil. What do you guys think? I mean, money-wise, you're all right to sign a player worth a couple mil. You still got the pitcher signings coming up, too. That's a couple mil. We can get a catcher. I mean, Smith would at least... looks like Smith would play against righties, and then Tyrone Ray would play against lefties. If you were to go with someone like Smith. And yeah, it would drop Gary Sanchez down to the minors. Can we go for pitchers and come back? Nope, you can't. Smith, as much as I love the Trout meme. We are making this decision right here and right now, by God. Going once on Will Smith. I'd rather spend money on a 5 mil pitcher and cheap out on Prieto. Fine. Terms of the pitchers. No super high value relievers or even starters that you would need. There's not going to be big money pitching to find at this stage. You know, especially no guarantees that these relievers are even going to make your team. They're probably not based on overalls. So maybe one of them. I'm seeing a lot of shouts for old Mike Trout. Do you guys want to go for 39-year-old Mike Trout for $2.8 million? Bobski, what's up, by the way? Good to see you. All right. Trout has been shouted down. How do you feel about Will Smith? Of course, IRL just got that ridiculous contract extension from the Dodgers. Is Will Smith the man? 14 years of Will Smith. There you go. All right. Smith is looking like the guy if he takes that $3.2 million deal. And he does. In terms of pitchers, again, you could run some extra long relievers this year, but look at the starters that you already have. Look at the starters that you already have. You really don't need a starter. You know? But in terms of relievers, I mean, you could go for like Josh Hader as a veteran, Jose Leclerc, but it's not looking like it's going to matter. We need long relief. Do you, though? Howie Elliott, Avi England, Brad Keller. I don't think you do, but I mean, if you wanted to go for a starter or two, you could just to see who's in the mix. If you're not liking the looks of the relievers, but let me know. You need to make that choice. In the meantime, I get a chance to look around. Kim Azokar. Let me see what I got here. First base. Could bring in Wilmer Flores, but I don't have to. Catcher, I'm good. Second base, I'm good. Could bring in Tyro Estrada at 35. Say Ramirez isn't available. So if it's not Estrada, it's bringing back Kim or Orlando Arcia or Jose Azocar. Jose would actually be a pretty good fit for my team. He'd represent some outfield help that I desperately need. Oh, Kim's not bad either. But my one signing, I'm going to go for Jose here. Honestly, the 2-year deal is not that bad. The arbitration years. Take advantage of that. Go with a club option for year 2 in case he's terrible. Welcome in, Jose. And then pitching-wise, for your boy, it's not looking too good. Kodai Senga might have to come back, even though he was atrocious last year. I got no choice. He's my best option, so. Kodai, welcome back, you absolute trash bin. There we go. Chat, what's it going to be? Do you want to go for a couple of these starters just to see how they fit in? Or go for the relievers? I mean, either way, it doesn't make too much of a difference. I mean, you could bring in guys like Aaron Nola, Corbin Burns, Tyler Glasnow, Walker Buehler, Blake Snell, and just be like, fuck it. You know, kind of what you had done with Max Scherzer in the past. What do you think? Hader and Buehler. And the problem is the relievers that are left aren't likely to make your team. You know what? Just for Altman. Ooh, Buehler's probably too expensive. I hate to say it. Walker Buehler's too expensive. You guys, because we still have to sign those filler players for both teams. I think you need someone who's around $1 million or less. Money-wise. It's a relatively perilous money situation. So if you wanted to go for a starter, I mean, shit, even Ryan Feltner would be a bit too much. But yeah, money-wise, it's close because those filler contracts. That is true. We could go for the filler contracts first. Although Justin Dunn at 35, dirt cheap. Any disagreement on Justin Dunn? If you can get him to sign, he wants to get paid. Even Justin Dunn's $1.5 million. All right, let's see what we can do once the season actually starts. Because Jesus Christ, you guys put yourselves in a very weird financial spot. So we'll send to the start of the regular season. Let's see what the hell this team's going to look like. So at catcher, you got Tyrone Ray on the 40-man. He'll be on that major league roster with Will Smith. Unless, I mean, you could run Will Smith and Gary Sanchez and give Tyrone a year in triple. But at this point, what's the point, you know? At this point, what's the point? You can cut Michael Ditas. Because whatever, he's not going to be that expensive. So it'd be Duarte in triple, Long in double. Lyon in triple. Double A there. And then Gary Sanchez. Oh, man, that's right, though. Duarte. So here's the problem. Duarte, do you risk losing him? He'd have to go through waivers. He'd have to go through waivers. So your choice is to send down Tyrone or risk losing Lonnie Duarte. Who gets sent down, Ray or Duarte? Ray would not have to be placed on waivers. Duarte would. There's no way Duarte gets claimed. Probably not, but doesn't look like that much of a loss. I tend to agree. I mean, you guys haven't had a single trade offer for this guy. I tempted you. So, all right, chat's going with Ray. Oh, shit, but then where the hell is Ray going to play? I guess he'd be in triple. Okay. Send down Duarte. All right, we got to throw this to a vote here then. Who goes down, Ray or Duarte? Be Ray with no waivers. Duarte would have to go through waivers. First base. Again, you got to get rid of the Rule 5 picks. It's how we're doing things. So you're going to have Michael Chavis on the Major League roster behind Vladdy. So it'll be Jeff Adams down to AAA. Putting him through waivers isn't a big deal at all. And obviously there's still some aspects of this to fix. Second base, Gavin Lux. It'll probably end up being someone like Grant Woodard, I should say. Go down. Duarte. It's been voted to go down. So Lonnie will have to go through waivers. Is there anybody else that has to go through waivers here for your team? And I got to check my team too. Jim Flint is a Rule 5 pick. Robert Sposato is going to have to get put on the Major League roster again. Floyd Horton. That depends on if you sign anybody. And then for the pitchers, it's looking okay. Dominic Hughes. Good old John Lasagna, as you deemed him. There's a couple of players on waivers anyway after spring training, including Brad Keller. Not many starters signed on your team. Jesus. For my mermen, what do we got? Is there anybody obvious that needs to go through waivers here? It doesn't look like it. Reason why I'm checking this first is so that we can sim a couple of days before the season starts. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have some moves to make, but nothing too crazy. Alzali's on waivers. That's fine. Okay, let's sim a few days and see what happens. Season doesn't start for just over a week. I think we are in the clear. And we are. All right, so catchers for chat. Duarte did make it through. It'll be Duarte and Lyon in AAA, Long, Dell, and double. Sanchez will go down to single A to have Will Smith and Tyrone Ray at the major league level. Now is a very good time to put Duarte on waivers to get him off the 40-man, just so you don't have to worry about sending him down again next year. And if he gets claimed, then he gets claimed. But you just put him on waivers anyway. So Gary and Duarte, try to get them off the 40-man so you don't have to worry about him this year. Let's see. That's a lot of first basemen. So Richie Karnitz. Get rid of that guy. Where you're going to want Deerdorf and Rice in double. O'Connor, and Tulibits in triple. And you have Pedro Perez, but he was the Rule 5 pickup, so get rid of him for dirt cheap. And then Jeff Adams going all the way from the major leagues down to single A for Jeff Adams. That guy just really didn't pan out for your team. Second base, Gavin Lux. It's going to have to be like Grant Woodard on the roster. Triple A is Mullen and Hitchcock. Double A is Blanco and Edwards. Need a single A signing. It'll be 38 overall, Max Muncy. The other one, that is. 38 overall. Third base, Slaughter and might as well go with like Chris Feliz and just try to hope that some of those younger guys develop. Put him down in single A for the moment. Put him down in single A. So you need Flores playing. And you need Albert Ellis and Joel DeYoung playing. Although it's unlikely. These two especially need to be playing. So AAA for Ellis and DeYoung. It's going to have to be Dougie Walk down in AA with Flores, and then Perez is going to have to be the one in single A. Tough choice regardless, just because they are mostly all young players. The alternative is to take Chris Feliz off of that roster and put like someone like Ellis. You could put Perez on the major league roster because at least he's fast. He could be a pinch runner. And that would guarantee that at least people are being given a chance and not sitting out. But then again, he is only a C potential. There's really no reason to not do that. Just say, fuck it, throw him to the major leagues and see what the hell happens. And then get Chris Feliz back down to single and get him off the 40-man. For the shortstops, Sposato is your guy. Jim Flint's got to go since he was a Rule 5 pickup. So pretty obvious. Sposato and Miles Naylor. Because Naylor would also have to go through waivers, and it's like, well, fuck it, you might as well just leave him there. I don't really think AAA time will help him develop. So you guys need 3 shortstops to round out this team. And then again, we'll still see if there's any room for you guys to sign anybody in terms of the pitchers. Right, it was just in terms of the pitchers, wasn't it? Or did you guys... Because you signed Will Smith. You still had one more position player, too, right? Will Smith was the only one of the 4 that you signed. Let's... Oh, God. The hell are we supposed to do with this? Well, Colin Graves certainly in AAA. I mean, Yeager can play down in double. Rafael in the majors, Weber in triple. Horton has to be in the majors unless you want to put him through waivers. So he can be the fourth. Double, and then Feldman doesn't matter. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. AAA is 1, 2. Let's do 3 and 4 with JJ. AA is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that actually works out pretty well numbers-wise in the outfield. For the pitchers, Derek Hope's got to go back up to the majors. 1, 2, 3. So the 74 is... I mean, 74 works as a reliever. You guys are about to get a lot of young relief help here, including a couple of really highly touted prospects. And the question is whether or not it's going to work. Clay Holmes has to go through waivers. Gutierrez can go down. All right, so we'll have to see what's up with Clay Holmes, but can't imagine he gets claimed. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2, 3. All right, so depending on what happens with Clay Holmes, still got a couple of dudes on waivers. Please let those waivers go through. There we go. Doesn't look like he lost anybody, which isn't surprising. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. AAA is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. AA, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with Cruz. Send those two down. For the starters, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. AAA is 1, 2, 3. Gonna have to get you guys some starters. That is for sure. But everything else is looking relatively well set up. Money-wise, yeah, you guys don't. You're fucked. Money-wise, just for the filler that was already signed, I really don't think you're gonna be able to get anybody half decent. I'm not seeing it. See, even like AJ, even AJ Pook, it's not there. Like at this point, it's dirt cheap players. I don't even think we're going to be able to sign enough starters to properly fill out your roster before it gets in trouble. Yeah. So what we're going to have to do is let the AI fix up the roster and hope that there's no severe consequences or anything like that. There shouldn't be, but you never know. For the roster that you do have at the moment at the major leagues, I mean, losing Dylan C sucks, but it's still looking good. Perez now the ace of the staff. Christensen, David, Harmon, and Juan Baroa. Howie Elliott is the long reliever. Then the bullpen's very young, but looks promising. Elise, Ponce, Hollowell, Hope, Gamble, and Gregory Santos. These are the best pitching staff you guys have had yet. And in terms of the lineup, Sposato, Lux, Soto, Vladdy, Steer, Rafaela, Chavis, Slaughter, and Will Smith. It does put Ray in against lefties. I mean, if that roster can't make the playoffs, I don't know if you'll have a roster that can make the playoffs. Worth noting, Elise is currently the number 5 prospect in baseball. Gamble's number 8. And you're about to graduate both of them. This was the guy I didn't take first overall last year, but that's okay. Where's the outfielder that I did take, though? You guys also have Avi England at 36. Mermen have Will Comstock up to number 47. You got Flores at 68. I got Del Villar at 69. Ahmad Munoz at 87. Matt Seaver, number 1 overall pick last year, debuts at 91. That seems harsh. You also got Menard and Marcus Weber up there. So still a lot of representation for Chat's A's. Money's a little bit tight again, though. We're still going to have to solve some things here.